The VDR audio recorded sounds consistent with the collision of the bridge. Additionally, around this time, MDTA dash cameras show the bridge lights extinguishing.
The Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals plans to hold a hearing next week on the legality of Texas's border policy bill SB 4, which allows the state to arrest and deport illegals who cross into Texas. Texas Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick says he's confident the court will side with the state.
We believe when we get back to the Supreme Court, remember they voted 6-3 to let it stay or let it become law while we're going through the process. We're going through that process. We believe it is constitutional because we're being invaded.
President Biden criticizing former President Trump's handling of the COVID-19 pandemic during a recent campaign event in North Carolina, arguing his predecessor didn't, quote, follow the science, and many economic hardships happened under him. But South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem, however, claims the U.S. saw many more issues from the pandemic after Biden took office.
Our military declined. He attacked our people. He tried to mandate vaccines and masks and hurt our children and set them back. It was tragic what his policies did to this country.
Florida Governor Ron DeSantis has signed a bill eliminating so-called squatters' rights in Florida. Chris Woodward has more.
A squatter is someone that is living on a property without a title, right, or lease. Landlords across the country have been on the news talking about these situations, and Florida's governor says it's going to stop in his state. Attorney and radio host Jenna Ellis.
I'm very grateful as a Florida resident that Governor DeSantis is not allowing this myth of squatters' rights to impact Florida. This is a perfect example of state sovereignty, and regardless of the insanity from the federal government or what other states are doing, Governor DeSantis is protecting Florida citizens. Basically, this myth of squatters' rights is essentially the same total myth and complete antithetical abuse of this term right as you would say a robber's right.
Ellis adds that regardless of your political affiliation, property rights are something that we understand that are in our Bill of Rights to be secure in our persons, property, or effects.
This is a good thing. And this should be the example that everyone should follow.
I'm Chris Woodward.
A new Fox News poll looks at the economy, with voters answering a long-standing political question. More from Gernal Scott.
44 years ago, Ronald Reagan, debating Jimmy Carter, asked,
"Are you better off than you were 4 years ago?"
This year, the answer for 52% of respondents is no. Only 22% say yes. 26% of voters say the economy is good. Not much more. 38% don't like how President Biden is handling it. Looking at the presidential race head-to-head, former President Trump has an edge over President Biden, 50 to 45%, with more than 7 months before Election Day. Gernal Scott, Fox News.
More news online at AFN.net and download the AFN mobile app for your Apple or Android device. I'm Rusty Pugh.
Well, good evening. It is another Thursday night, and it is time for Nick at Night. That's me. I'm Nicholas Arthur, and this is Far Out with Nick at Night. Good to see a few people. Epicus in the chat room over there. He says, I get the impression I discomfort you. No, man, you don't discomfort me at all, Epicus. It's nice to see somebody in the chat room, even if nobody else is in there. Just really very busy getting this whole machine ready for the road. For the show. So it's a lot because I can't really. And then when I get on the air, it's hard to keep up with all the chat rooms, and especially if there's a lot of material going in them. I'd need a producer to keep up with everything. But no, I'm glad you're here. I appreciate you, man. And I'm so glad that you're being blessed by my work here at First Amendment Radio. And good to see Tom Raines over there too. And thank you for that, for your kind words, Tom. And genetic modification has arrived. And of course, Darkeja over here dominating the First Amendment Radio chat room, which, like I said, I'm too busy to read it all. And yeah, especially if it's overwhelmingly filling up the chat room. So hopefully more people show up. And if you really want to get my attention, there's this number right here, this text number. And so if you want to get my attention on the show, text me. And I turned off the annoying noise, but I can see it when someone texts over here. I think, yeah, or someone calls, I can see it. So it won't have that annoying noise. Because someone said I needed to change that to something else. But it doesn't seem there's any options on there. The only option is to turn it off and just get a visual notification. So you can text or call me at this number. I'm not using the old number anymore, so if you call that, I won't answer it, okay? So please call the number here, the text number there. And if your name is Ghost Caller or Guy Fawkes or something like that, and you run out of numbers, because I can block them now if someone's just harassing me. And so it's amazing. So far, I've had like 4 numbers of people that have called me in 2 nights that I've had to block because 3 strikes, because if someone calls in and the phone isn't working, I know that's happened before. I can't hear you. And then you call back and everything works. So I give, 3rd strike, you're out. And it makes me feel strong, like, Google and YouTube, who get to strike you out, 3 strikes and you're out. Because I get a lot of strikes on Google, or I have got a lot of strikes on Google. So it says, are you aware you have a whale on your shirt? Well, yeah, I think I am. Yeah, I think I am aware that I have a whale on my shirt. I never looked at it very much. I picked this shirt up. Now, someone gave me this shirt. They bought it, and it was too small for them. So I said, sure, I like long sleeve T-shirts. So that's, yeah. Does that mean something to you? Yeah. You remind me of John Key from Steppenwolf. You know who that? I remember Steppenwolf, but I don't know who the players were or anything. As a matter of fact, I'm not sure I can even recall one of their songs. Yeah. Whales are cool. Oh, cool. Yeah. But there is something peculiar about this shirt because it says San Ignacio BCS. I'm guessing that's a bay or a city or something, but yeah, the name Ignacio, San Ignacio BCS, British Columbia South. I don't know. I'm just guessing. I don't really know what it means, and I can't read the little writing there. Let's see, Laguna San Ignacio, Baja California, for something in Spanish. Anyway, so, but I like it. Let's see. The phone number should probably have been, that's left over. Okay, well, what are we going to talk about today? Will the non-croaking Guy Fawkes caller return this evening? Well, if he calls one of the block numbers, it won't even show up, because once they block him, I don't know if they call in ever again. I can access a list of blocked numbers, though. So that's why I give people 3 chances, because I don't want to accidentally block someone because their mouth or their microphone weren't working or something. So Anyway, let's see. Okay, let's see what we got. Let's start with yes, Babylon Bee. And that's going to springboard us off to something else. But the Babylon Bee says, Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg holds emergency press conference to announce he's taking 3 more months maternity leave. Oh, okay. So see, we have a caller already. Your name and where you're calling from? Hello. Okay, I think this is the second time on this number that, yeah, let me see if this is on my list here. Let's see, where is that list at? Uh-oh. I know I had a list here somewhere. Oh my. Yeah, I wrote a bunch of numbers down. I guess I lost my list. I had a list here somewhere. Okay, well. Oh, here it is right here. Is that one of the numbers? Yeah. Oh, this is a new number. Yeah. So, you got a caller right now. Unless this person has unlimited numbers. Okay, so, but it's from the same area codes, but this one is different. It's 371-5034. So that's 423. So I'm writing down numbers that nobody talks to me on. This is crazy. I say I never knew this before in my old system because I had no caller ID that I could access. So we'll end that call. Goodbye. Let's see. Can I say we should give people a good 10 seconds to respond when you ask them to state name? Not uncommon to have a delay. Well, I just waited a whole minute there or whatever it was while I was talking. So, yeah. So I'll write the number down if someone doesn't talk. And then I can, if they do it twice, then that'll be it. Right? Okay, anyway, Pete Buttigieg. I learned the pronunciation. I think the G, the final G, is silent. I mean, it could be Pete Buttigieg. You want to gag. Anyway, the Transportation Secretary holds emergency press conference to announce he's taken 3 more months maternity leave. And that reminds me of another story that we have going on here. And that's this one right here. Okay? This one. VP candidate Nicole Shanahan. Yeah. Shanahan. This woman, you know what? You've heard me before talk about comparing Trump and comparing Kennedy and saying it's kind of a toss-up. Yeah. No longer a toss-up. Yeah. Yeah. And I wrote some comments here below this video. This is on Rumble, on JFK's channel. So I subscribed to his channel to keep up with what he was saying. But I may unsubscribe now because this woman, her claim to fame, she made her millions or billions or whatever because she was married to the co-founder of Google. There you go. Her claim to fame. So she has lots of money. And is that why he picked her? Because she has lots of money? Huh. Really a sad state of affairs. Anyway, I made some comments here. I think they'll speak for themselves. Let's see. My first comment is Biden has his Kamala, RFK his Shanahan. He has suddenly become less desirable than the Don. What a disappointment. And then I wrote, and I listened to some of her speech too, and this was my comment on her speech. A speech worthy of Miss America. Not VP material. Yes. I want world peace and to heal all the sick people. Kind of stuff that Miss America would say. So anyway, what a disappointment. And with her, millions or billions of dollars, whatever she has, I know it's just an insane amount of money. She has supported people like, oh, right, this guy here. She supported him for president the last go round. Yeah. But but instead he got to be transportation secretary, right? And he's bringing he's shutting down racist freeways and stuff like that. Yeah. Good guy. The more months he takes off for maternity leave, the better off we are. That's all I have to say about that. Okay, moving on. What do you guys think, huh? Let's see. Shut down quicker. Plastic Barbie. Epicus needs a friend over there in the Rumble chat room. Come on, where's all these people at Rumble? Why don't they jump in the chat room? Epicus needs someone to talk to. I can't keep up with him. Yeah, him and Darkeja need to get into the same chat room. There you go. There would be a conversation going on. Okay, moving on here. Let's see. We don't want to look at the article that goes with Pete Buttigieg. I'll see. Man goes to heaven, immediately asks God to replay arguments with his wife so he can prove he was right. Oh, that's funny. I like that one. Yeah. So he can prove he was right. Oh, let's see next. Celebrity trainer unveils new way to stay strong for all Americans without excuse. Nobody likes getting older because our muscles become weaker, making the activities we used to enjoy more difficult than before. But what if you don't have to get weaker? What if you could? You know what? I think that's a commercial on on the B. It looks funny, but yeah, I was hoping there was a punchline there somewhere. But I guess not. The punchline is that I'm getting older. And yeah. Okay, moving on. See, New York City mayor assures migrants that if they run out of prepaid debit cards, they can just rob Americans directly. Yeah, there you go. Just, hold them up on the street if you run out of prepaid debit cards. I mean, if you're a migrant in New York, you can go through your 5,000 monthly debit card. You can go through that pretty quick. A couple weeks or 10 days, you're out of money. Just go ahead and rob the citizens directly instead of indirectly. Here you go. So that's liberal thinking for you. Okay. Nation's starting to wonder if Diddy may have done a few of those things he repeatedly rapped about doing. Oh, I'm just imagining, because I've heard, snippets of some of these rap songs, and they're really disgusting. These people really, tells you a lot about their character. So now they're starting to wonder if he may have done a few of those things that he repeatedly rapped about doing. I think there's a good indication, yeah, that these people become rich and famous for rapping about things that they're now chasing him all over the world for in his private jet, I guess. Yeah, they'll pick him up sooner or later. The federal government's pretty good at getting its man, isn't it? Especially if they're not very smart. It seems to me you can't be very smart if you rap about doing things that are illegal and then do those things that are illegal and then wonder why you have to escape the states in your jet. Oh, what else do we got here? Let's see. In bold speech, Biden calls on ships to stop crashing into bridges. That's about it. Yeah. What else would he say except we'll pay for the whole thing. It must have been our fault. It's American people. Hey, we're blowing the bank already, $1 trillion every 3 months. I think we can pay for a bridge, right? That's what he said, something like that. Yeah. Just, please stop crashing into bridges. So, we've got to have enough grift and graft to go around for, all my friends and buddies. And, we love big projects like this because all my friends can get rich. You'll end up with a crappy bridge, but that's the way corruption works. This is the Mafia Biden, yes. Okay. Let's see. We have a caller. Your name and where you're calling from? I cannot hear you. Do I just drop everyone from 423? Yes, 423. Where did I write that number down? 423-836-7576. That's number strike 2 for that number. Yeah. See what I mean? How was the call quality? Oh, it was excellent. Yes. Somebody loves to listen to my show, but just why interrupt me? Am I really, is it really so profound or so offensive that I need to be interrupted? I mean, really, come on. I'm just trying to laugh a little bit here and have some fun, at least for a while before I get to the serious stuff. Yeah. Okay. Oh, next. I'll call if you want to pick a topic worth talking about. Saying hi, just don't cut it for me. Oh, well, you could, let's see, pick a topic, right? Well, let's see, did I have any topics lined up for today? Not really. I just, came in here and spent a half hour trying to put a show together. Doesn't take a whole lot of brain power, but you just have to have enough stuff to talk about for 2 hours in case something important doesn't come up. So what would you like to talk about? I'm open to suggestions. This is supposed to be kind of like a hangout, okay? So you want to come on and kick something around for, 15 or 20 minutes? Fine, pick a topic or anything I'm talking about. It's fine with me, Epicus, if you want to call in and talk about something. I mean, okay. So anyway, back to the Babylon Bee here. If you think about something and that we can talk about, because I can talk about just about anything. So I said, he says, I haven't talked to anyone in 50 years. Well, it's no wonder you say so much in the chat room. Yeah. So, anyway, you're welcome to call in and we can talk about, let's see, what could we talk about? Just talk about what it's like to have no one to talk about, to talk with for 50 years. There's a lot. That's one reason why I'm doing this broadcast, just honestly, to tell you the truth. Is because, I'm a widower, so I really don't have anyone to hang with most nights. I do have a 23-year-old daughter, my youngest. My oldest was born in 76, so whatever that would be, 48, I guess now. So I've been married a few times, but my latest wife passed away early in the century, and I just the idea of dating anything, and I haven't met anyone, so I didn't want to go on a dating site and mess with all of that. And I'm just as happy. I'm really at the point where, I have grandchildren that are like moving on to like 30 years old. 30? Well, getting near in their late 20s, down to my youngest grandchild right now is 10. Yeah, 12. Yeah, that's right. My grandest, Samantha, is 12 now. But my youngest daughter isn't married yet either. And I don't have any great-grandchildren yet, but I do have great grandchildren that are old enough. All they got to do is get married and have children. Yeah, so I'll have great-grandchildren soon. But it so happens, I don't really have anyone to hang with. And if I did, if I had a lady to hang with, well, maybe she'd be sitting out here on the air next to me, But I told God, I says, I don't feel like going out and dating and all that stuff. So if you want to give me a wife, you're gonna have to practically drop her in my lap or somehow bring her into my life. So I'm gonna leave it in His capable hands because, I've been married 3 times and I figured I did it right once, and that was the last time. And she up and died. Well, at least she had the decency to die on me rather than leave me and cause all that heartache. It was actually, it was easier to deal with death. At least it was involuntary, So, and it's been quite a while, and I still miss her. Yeah, still, because I think of what a great lady she was, and how much better my life would be every day if she was here. So that's one reason why I'm doing this broadcast, is to fill up the nights. And I figure there are other people that maybe would like to hang out. So I got a few here that want to hang out. Yes, my Black Book of Strikes is growing. Yeah. And hopefully I will eliminate them all within time. And I did hear my tone, so we'll move on with the Babylon Bee when we get back from some messages. But for now, I'm going to take a break, go for a short walk, and I will be back with a hot cup of coffee. Don't go anywhere. Secrets of the Rapture. Is there a 500-year-old conspiracy? A propaganda machine so pervasive and entrenched, yet so elusive that the entire world could be taken in by it, working in plain sight, but unseen by the world for what it truly is? If prophecy is God-given history in advance, why does the prophecy that has conquered the age also exclude nearly 2,000 years of history? What is it that they are afraid that the light of history will reveal? To understand our place in time and prophecy, we must look in history for an interpretation, that which stands the test of time, that which agrees with the Word of God, and history has proven to be true. When cunning fables and fearful speculations are removed from our sight, then we may clearly see what is truly expressed in Bible prophecy, both that which has been fulfilled and that which has yet to come. God's express word is the sword that must be wielded to remove the scales from the eyes and dispel the darkness of deceitful conjecture. Secrets of the Rapture was written to expose that which the spirit of the age has conjured out of the darkness to blind the eyes of the church in the world today. Secrets of the Rapture, Deconstructing Pre-Tribulation Dispensational Futurism by yours truly, Nicholas Arthur, is now available at lulu.com and Amazon. Secrets of the Rapture.
The program you are listening to is 100% sponsored by you, the listener, on this First Amendment Rights Media channel. You will notice that there are few commercials on this radio network. There's a good reason for that. Corporate advertising dollars come with strings that limit program content. So without your help, these programs cannot continue on internet or our several affiliates. If you benefit by the educational law programs, we ask you to give. If you are admonished or nurtured by the Bible and ministry programs, we ask you to give. If some voice a cause that you are passionate about, we ask you to give. If you believe in any of these, we ask you to support them as you would a missionary on a continual basis, as if giving a tithe for missionary radio. These programs are not commercially viable and must be supported by those faithful to the cause of truth. Look for the button to sponsor your favorite programs at our listen and schedule pages on the internet. We're asking you to give much less than a tithe so that you may also send support directly to a particular program host, cause, and anywhere else the Spirit may lead you. Do all to the glory of our God and Creator, for His holy nation, the only kingdom that will last forever. Thank you for listening.
Okay, I am back. Let's see, your comms really speak into your mic. Excuse me, I'm just catching up with the chat rooms here to see if there's anything I need to pay attention to. Okay, oh, that's got a lot there. We get on top of all the different zones and calculations. Invite a few peeps to join Discord server for live debate. Gentlemanly, of course. Okay. All right. Well, let's see what else we got here. Everything seems to be working good this evening too. So anyway, let's finish up with the Babylon Bee here. See, new NFL rules require opposing teams to just hug it out. Not a big fan of football, and that's all we got from the Babylon Bee. So what else do we got? Okay, I already looked at that. The Baltimore Bridge collapse. The effects of the Baltimore Bridge collapse will be horrific. Let me break it down, says Not the Bee. In 2023, the port ranked first in the nation in handling automobiles. Supports 15,330 direct jobs and 139,800 jobs connected to port work. If you missed it, the Francis Scott Key Bridge in Baltimore was destroyed by a cargo ship. Yes, nobody missed it, did they? So, it says, let me break it down. Major bridge, well, that's the same thing. I guess the NFL kickoff will look like this next year. Don't care about football. See what else they got. Someone just put up these signs at the Colorado Capitol. Undocumented Democrats, caution. I don't know who put these signs up outside the Capitol in Denver, but I know he or she is a legend. And, yikes. Migrant hookers, $25. Yes. Caution, undocumented Democrats. Well, that's what they are. Yeah. I think that's the whole point for Joe Biden. He knows they probably can't cheat enough. So, yeah. And yes, the trafficking thing too. Let's see, the FBI is offering $40,000 to help solve one of the most baffling mysteries in the last 20 years. The internet has brought about a major industry of aspiring detectives hoping to solve cold cases and puzzling disappearances. So what is this? The FBI has $40,000 to help solve one of the most baffling mysteries of the last 20 years. What could it be? Let's see. This is the internet. Yeah, okay, read that part. Such has been the case of the disappearance of Breonna Maitland, a young woman who vanished 2 decades ago. 20 years ago, she vanished from her Vermont workplace. On Tuesday, the FBI announced a reward of $40,000 to help solve the mystery surrounding the teenager's disappearance. Someone out there may have information that can help solve this case. Special Agent Craig Tamaroli said, in charge of FBI Field Office Albany, "It has been too long, and it's time to come forward. No tip is too small." So cold case solutions. It is baffling. In March 2004, she left her job at a local inn in Vermont. She was last seen leaving the job a little before midnight. The following day, her vehicle, an Oldsmobile, was found backed to the side of an abandoned home. Okay. Maitland was nowhere to be found. So they found her vehicle the next day. Here it is, a picture of it, backed into this home. And she hasn't been seen since. Local police assume the car was a result of a drunk driving incident. Maitland herself was not reported missing for days. When her parents began following up with law enforcement, the state police showed them a photo of Maitland's car. They confirmed it was hers. Mother described her immediate negative reaction to the photo as if her parental intuition was going off. Kelly said in interviews that she was instinctively repulsed by the photo and believed someone else, not Maitland, had left the car in such a way. A few witnesses came forward to say they had seen the car the night of the accident. The accident backed into a building. Police initially suspected she may be a runaway, though they eventually abandoned that theory. So, there it is. You got any information? 20 years ago. I wonder how many cold cases out there that there are that remained unsolved. Probably far too many. But hey, if someone wants to be a detective, there's a job for you. Might pay pretty good if you can solve some of these cold cases, and do it in a podcast, and yeah, you can make big money on your podcast as well as rewards for unsolved cases. So that's from Not the Bee. Okay, 4,000 acres of solar panels were destroyed in one Texas hailstorm. Wow. Man, that's some big hail. Because I have some solar panels and I walk on them because they're made of tempered glass. Because I can step on them around the edges. I wouldn't walk on them or jump on them. I have had one break, but not for me walking on it because the wind tore it off the roof where it was on, and it landed on a rock or something. But 4,000 acres of solar panels were destroyed in one Texas hailstorm. Locals are now worried about groundwater poisoning. Yes, indeed. 99% of these are gone. Wow. That's some big hail, or heavy hail, or something. So I've never seen hail much bigger than, maybe 3/4 of an inch myself, but I've heard about it. But that's Texas-sized hail. Here's the green tech they're telling us we need to adopt 100% by 2030 to avoid environmental catastrophe. This looks like a catastrophe to me. And yes, they're hoping that stuff don't leak into the groundwater. Okay, Toronto is considering a rain tax because apparently all the other taxes aren't enough. Who are they going to tax? God? Seriously? A rain tax? If it rains, they're going to tax you for the rain? Unbelievable. These people never get enough. What kind of leftist utopian tax experiment is this? A rain tax. Well, you know who's in charge there. Castro Jr. up there in Canada. Yes, he's not worse. I'm like, he's worse. He's got to be worse than Biden because he knows what he's doing. Oh, but Biden knows what he's doing. Biden may not know what's going on, but Biden does. Yeah, they're doing a great job of destroying the country. Biden, speaking of Biden, just said that he regularly crossed the Key Bridge by train. Of course he did. Yeah. I mean, why would he lie? Oh, 'cause that's what he always does. Yes. Let's see. Because I can't hear you, man. I have other vids twice as loud at the same volume. You want to fix or be stubborn, help yourself. You talking to me? My volume's not loud anymore? No. Well, it should be. I turned it way up. Maybe I'm just more soft-spoken. Yeah. Am I coming across okay, everybody? Yeah, I didn't check my volume on the recording. Yeah. Anyway, seems to be... Anybody want to give me a sound check here? I'll wait for it. But my monitor says I'm where I belong. So, unless my mic is wearing out, yeah. Okay, Biden just said he regularly crossed Key Bridge by train. Only problem with that? Okay, I'm crazy, or did Biden just say during his address that he crossed the recently collapsed Scott Key Bridge by train? The problem is there's no train that goes. There's no tracks. It's a 4-lane automobile or traffic bridge. See, genetic modification says normal audio for me. Okay. Yeah. Okay, well, good. I'll check it out in my recording. I forgot to do that after I reset it because I think I raised my volume by to 150%. That means 50% louder. But let me see if that setting took. Let me see here. Front mic. Oh, it says 100%. Huh. Okay, yeah, I did raise it, but why did it go back down? Let me, so if I do that, that should be a lot louder to go up 50% more. But I thought I did that once already. I thought that was supposed to keep. See, I can't hear myself, but I don't want to hear myself. Maybe it doesn't go up that high. Yeah, it says click the boost, but I already have 20 decibel boost on the mic. It's the mic, I probably, and I have on my sound card, it has a 20 decibel boost. I already have it all the way up. So he says that's good. Oh, okay. All right, well, I'm glad that's good because of my monitor. It looks exactly the same. I'm not even hitting the red, but I have it up all the way. It says 3.5 decibel boost. Yeah. Let me look at that again. Excuse me while I be my own producer. Oh, front mic 150%. It says percentage, not decibels. But it has decibel on the other thing. So, and I turned my my commercials down almost 1/3 so they are not as loud as they were before. Just trying to equal everything else out here. And my audio capture, I turned it down too. Yeah, I am speaking into the mic. It's right here in front of my mouth. So, yeah, let me close that. Yeah, because see, here's my mouth. I mean, the mic is that far from my mouth. 4 fingers right there. I mean, you can't tell looking on the screen, but it's that close. See, there's my hand right there, and it's touching my mouth and the mic. So that's about as close as you can get it. All right, well, hopefully that'll stick. And I'm just doing the best I can on my own here. Are my commercials still too loud? I turned them way down. So anyway, check it out during the next break and let me know. And I'll look at the recording afterwards because I can get a visual of it. And that's always easier for me to see. The visual. Okay, next story here. Don Lemon's show is tanking after he was fired by Elon Musk following testy interview. I'm not sure if any of you noticed, but Don Lemon had a deal to run a show on X for like 2 seconds, and now the deal is scrapped. Well, that must have been much like the deal with Rona McDaniel, what's his name's niece that went on NBC and lasted 5 minutes before they fired her. I mean, Republicans didn't even like her when she was the Republican chair committee person, the whatever they call that. Yeah, I thought she would fit fine over there in a leftist TV, but they didn't want her either. So I guess maybe she can go over to Kennedy. Yeah, now that he's got his far left vice president pick. Okay, Epica says, now I'm good. Look at that, folks. We can actually hear him now. Send me money. Do you really need money, Epicus? We'll do a GoFundMe for you. We can get you a dog so you have someone to talk to. I have a cat. Well, I have 3 dogs, 3 cats, a whole bunch of horses and sheep and goats, no pigs, chickens. I like chickens because they lay eggs. Yeah. So, and then I have people too. So there are people here. Yeah. Most of them are related to me too. So, okay. Well, at least somebody laughs at me. Thank you for that, Epicus. He says, I do need a dog. Yeah, all mine are adopted. The people, because I live kind of out in the country here in the foothills, and the town near me, they think this is the place that you're supposed to send dogs that you don't want, so they come out here and drop them off. So all 3 of the dogs I have are abandoned dogs that I adopted. My daughter adopted one when she was real little. Now she's all grown up and the dog is old, but she's a great watchdog. And if anyone messes with my daughter, this dog will kill them. That's a good dog. Yeah, don't mess with my daughter, because this dog will be at your throat. No doubt about it. But she's a really sweet girl. Don't mess with her, girl, and you're okay with her. That's right. And then I got a couple little Chihuahua type dogs that I really enjoy to have around. The one of them just almost got 8. Survived a coyote. This dog has 3 lives so far, because it disappeared for a day and a half once. And I thought, because I know what happens when they disappear around here. They became a coyote meal, because we've had cats disappear. We go, well, there goes, don't go across this, don't go into the groves, because the coyotes are over there. And these little dogs started, the coyotes would come, they'd start barking at them across the street. I shine a light over there at night, you can see the coyote eyes, because they planted lemons across the street from me over here in the hills. And so the coyotes come closer now. and the dogs have been barking at and running over there and, barking at and tempting the coyotes. Well, I think that my little dog, his name's Pepper, I think his tempting coyote days are over. I think he learned a valuable lesson, and it's only valuable because he lived. He had a couple holes torn in his side and his neck was chewed up, but somehow, he's surviving. He's now still not his regular peppy Pepper self like his brother, because someone dropped, these were two, I can tell they were from the same litter. They're about 2 years old now. But they're a lot of fun to have around. They're really a lot of fun. All the grandchildren like them. Everybody loves these little dogs. So I'm glad that he lived anyway. So, okay, we have an unknown number, and I'm not accepting unknown numbers. So if you can unblock your number if you want to call in, I'm going to decline right away. And sorry about that, but that I have to decline unblocked numbers, because then I have no way. Well, yeah. So if you unblock your number, you can call in. Sorry about that. Or you can text me too, because all the unknown numbers that have called me so far have been just because anybody can block their number. Yeah. It's kind of a thing if you know how to do it with your phone. So if someone's blocking their number on purpose, or they just always, because a lot of places will not take your call if you block your number. Yeah. So this show is one of those. So if you can unblock your number and call me back in, or you can notify me in the chat room there. Okay. Yes. Let's see. And what kind of context? Breeding, housing, owner. How many horses do you have? Oh, well, actually, all the horses are my daughter's, and then I have a friend who keeps some horses here too, because we have room, and they pay for feed, and that's between my daughter and a friend of the family here, a friend of mine who's a widow, and is the widow of one of my best friends from that passed away after a motorcycle accident. Let's see, change your phone block policy. Many people want to remain anonymous and have that right. Well, they have that right, but every anonymous person calls in doesn't talk to me, so I'm going to just block immediately. So I have the right to do that. Sorry. But was that you happy in the chat room? April 8th. What happens on April 8th? So you're coming to actually, you're going to come a month to Nissan. How much more proximity toward the microphone must Nicholas be? Do we truly need subjective audio files here? Okay, Happy says April 8th. But I don't know. Change your phone block. Okay, they already read that one. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Let's see what else we got here. Don Lemon, we already talked about Don Lemon. See, Trump is selling God Bless USA King James Bibles with Lee Greenwood, and they have the Constitution inside. I don't really know what to say at this point. Yeah. If Lee Greenwood wants to sell Bibles to support Donald Trump, doesn't matter to me. I hope it's a good Bible. It has a Constitution in it. I have Bibles with other stuff in them. It's like some people, you might put a pocket Constitution in your Bible. Wouldn't be much different. So doesn't bother me. Yeah. It says, somehow I'm shocked by this and also 0% surprised, says somebody, whoever is the B here. But, whatever. Because it's that Lee Greenwood song, I'm proud to be an American. I think, I wouldn't really use the word proud or pride. But I know what they mean. You know, they don't really mean pride in that evil way. But I'm blessed to be an American. I'm, you know, yeah, I would sing that. I would sing it that way. I would look at more it as a blessing than something that I can take pride in. Because I mean, what did I do? Did I have something to do with it? No, I was, you know, God put me here. I was born here, and God chose for me to be born here at this time. So I really can't take pride. But I could be thankful to be an American, to be born at this time. But pride, I think I'll leave pride behind. But I don't fault people for saying that because I know the way they mean it. I'm wondering that your real name or anonymity is wise in these times. Yes, it is. And yes, both of my names are real. Yes. But, you know, if you can change your name by law at any time you want, you know, but I guess you have to do it legally if there's a legal way to do it. But no, those are Nicholas, Arthur are my given names. There we go. And I'll leave it at that. They were given to me at birth by my parents. Moving on here. Oh, that's all we got from the Babylon Bee. So, okay, we got another try here. Accept. Okay, your name and where you're calling from? See, this really bothered. Hello? I turned up the sound and still hear nothing. I think I'm just hearing myself back over the speaker. Okay, well, and I heard my tone, so I guess I will be going into a break here. And see, another call from that same area code keeps showing up. And let's see, I do have someone from that area code. I think David from Tennessee is in the 423 area code. Okay, well, I'm going into a break. Got to add more to my list. Yeah, unfortunately.
The program you are listening to is 100% sponsored by you, the listener, on this First Amendment Rights Media channel. You will notice that there are few commercials on this radio network. There's a good reason for that. Corporate advertising dollars come with strings that limit program content. So without your help, these programs cannot continue on satellite, internet, or our several affiliates. If you benefit by the educational law programs, we ask you to give. If you are admonished or nurtured by the Bible and ministry programs, we ask you to give. If some voice a cause that you are passionate about, we ask you to give. If you believe in any of these, we ask you to support them as you would a missionary on a continual basis, as if giving a tithe for missionary radio. These programs are not commercially viable and must be supported by those faithful to the cause of truth. Look for the button to sponsor your favorite programs at our listen and schedule pages on the internet. We will also give you unlimited archive access to all of our programs. We're asking you to give much less than a tithe so that you may also send support directly to a particular program host, cause, and anywhere else the Spirit may lead you. Do all to the glory of our God and Creator, for His holy nation, the only kingdom that will last forever. Thank you for listening.
Hi, I'm Nicholas Arthur, and I'd like to introduce you to my latest book, Reformed Prophecy Interpretation, an apology for Reformed premillennial historicism in the 21st century. As with primitive biblical Christianity, historicism is the method of prophecy interpretation restored with the advent of the Protestant Reformation. and had become so widely held that for a long time it was called the Protestant view. My book is not so much about the errors of dispensationalism or amillennialism. Rather, it is about the historicist alternative to understanding many of the same passages from the vantage point of prophecy fulfilled in history. For those that desire more than mere hypotheses, bolstered with conjectured speculation, those who require explicit biblical exegesis and verified historical fulfillment, and are not willing to accept speculation as anything other than what it is. Speculation, not truth. This book is for you. Over the last century, this method of interpretation has become almost completely forgotten, even by Protestants, in the face of a method that is based almost entirely on future speculation, rather than fulfilled prophecy in history. In my book, I examine the reasons for this and investigate some of the prophecy which has been fulfilled in the interim, as well as present an apology for Reformed premillennial historicism to the 21st century. If you're interested in a copy of my book, you can go to my website, crosstheborder.org, and get more information there. Or you may also find it at Amazon. Okay, yes, we are back. You're listening to Nick at Night. I'm Nicholas, and I have a text number. You can text me or call me. So if you really want to get my attention, you can text me, and I can read your text right away and answer questions, comments. You can send me links, pictures, anything you can do with a text. You can do that, or you can call in too, but I would appreciate if you call in that you actually speak, so that everybody can hear you. Otherwise, what's the point in calling? Just text anyway instead. So, let's see, I'm going to go pump my arms for an attempt to call. Nope, didn't work. Too scared. Yes, I am pretty scary, I have to admit. So I've been told. Let's see, happy Wednesday. Well, it's Thursday, but this is yesterday's redacted. And since I wasn't live yesterday evening, I was live in the morning, and hope you all caught the rerun in the hour. So, yes, indeed. Let's see, a new NODA study shows that people feel older after just 2 nights of bad sleep. Didn't need a study to tell me that, but thanks. Yeah, getting a good night's sleep really feels good in the morning. Yeah, and it feels good all day. So, yeah, make sure you get good sleep. Let's see. In case you missed it, the UK has ordered the removal of a statue of Prince Philip because they say that it is poor quality. Guess nobody noticed. Put up a statue and they got to looking at it and go, that's pretty poor quality. I think we should remove it. I don't know. I guess that's about the best reason that I've heard of moving a statue in a few years. It's really poor quality. Does it mean they're going to put a better quality one up in its place? Yes, maybe a General Lee statue. Those poor quality statues that the woke crowd tore down in the last few years. Okay, the New York Post reports on SAT scam that has students getting fake ADHD diagnosis in order to boost their SAT scores. I thought everybody on a level playing field. So if you're ADHD, you get handicap scores on your SAT. Okay. Get fake ADHD diagnosis in order to cheat. You better watch what you're faking, because you might get it. I've heard of people faking illnesses before and then ending up with those illnesses. Yes, you have to be careful. Because one thing I know about reading my Bible is that God loves to serve up ironic justice. Yeah, seems to be a thing that he's about. Seriously. Have you read the book? Okay. Farmers in Brussels sprayed manure at police to protest a meeting of EU agriculture ministers. Well, I don't blame them. I mean, if they're going to be full of it, they might as well be really full of it, right? Yes. Turning people against farmers. I mean, do they think people are really going to believe that's a good thing because they don't need to eat or something? Okay, next. The judge for Donald Trump's hush money case has issued a gag order on the former president ahead of the trial. The hush money case. Yes, indeed. Guess they keep throwing it, don't they? You'd think they'd know by now that they're only helping Donald Trump become more popular. Moving on, anyway, Ukrainian President Zelensky fired the head of the National Security and Defense Council, SNBO, Alexei Danilov. Okay, well, I don't know why or who cares. I mean, you got a failing country over there. They've killed off all the young men, and so they're putting old men and children into battle, or have been. They don't last very long either. So, because you can only kill each person one time. Yeah, unfortunately for, it's a terrible thing going on over there. Okay, the head of Niger met with Russian President Putin to discuss efforts to combat terrorism. Okay. And Thailand passed a bill to recognize same-sex marriages. Bad move, Thailand. Yeah. But it's a going around, isn't it? And a suicide bomber in Pakistan killed at least 5 Chinese nationals. Well, see, China moved in and took the place of America, who moved in and took the place of Russia in Pakistan. So it's one superpower after another. And so how long will it be before China leaves Pakistan? And who's going to be next? Yeah, America might go back in. Who knows? Yeah. Let's see. And next, I heard that gold was actually up. Yes, I got it. So this is yesterday's gold. And I did get a post in my mail today that said gold had gone up higher than $21.93, but that's higher than last time I looked at it. And let me see. I look at my inbox. I think I have it here. See, gold. Oh, yeah, here it is. This from goldsilver.com. Gold crosses 22.22, breaching all new all-time highs. So finally, gold, it's on the move now. Yep. Gold is on the move, and nothing's going to stop it. Because once it starts moving like this, yeah, I've seen it before. Because I remember when it was in the single, in the hundreds, 800, and then it went up to 1,200, and it went back down. And I said, well, 1,200 will be the new low, because the new high is going to be always becomes the new low. So it remained at 1,200 for a long time. It went up to almost 2,000 and back down to 1,200 and stayed there for a while, and then it started moving up again. So here we go again, and stayed around 2,000 for a long time. But it's on the move, 22.22. So I don't know what it ended up as today. I could always go to, let's see, where would I go? Let's try Kitco. because they have the current spot gold prices. Let's see, 22.33. Yes, and it closed at 22.33 at 7 p.m. So you can see it just going straight up. So there it goes, 22.33. Yeah. So we crossed that. So there's our spot price on gold, the gold price. So I hope you bought your gold when it was down. Let's see. Okay, let's see. Epicus is facing trepidation, says genetic modification in the chat room. He says, my trepidation. Oh, I see. My trepidation to yours, I'm not sure what you mean. Oh, so he's not talking to me. He's talking to genetic modification. Yeah. Okay, so anyway, back to wherever we were. Oh, yes, I was looking at that. And the gold. Okay, back to, is this it? Is this where we were? Price alert? Oh, that's some other. Oh, that's. Oh, that is today. That was, yeah. That's what I was looking at. Redacted. Okay, gold, yeah. Silver, still $24. And $24.60. Yeah, so maybe it is up. Not really. It's not moving like gold, but it will. It will go up. And one of these days it's going to just skyrocket because it's been held down for so long. And there's a lot of other factors out there that, yeah, lead me to believe that. Details continue to unfold about the Francis Guicot, the bridge. It will suspend search and rescue for the 6 people they could not find. Everything so far indicates as it was a terrible accident. He said that at 8 a.m. or 6 a.m. or something on the same day. So, anyway, we've already heard about that. Julian Assange thrown a curveball. Well, what's happened here? The court ruled that Julian cannot be extradited to the U.S. unless the U.S. provides assurance that we will be well treated. I think this is the same news we already heard. Yes, don't kill him if we send him over there. That's what I think they said. You can't give him the death penalty. Okay. So that's the Trends Journal. Oh, I think we already did all this here. I don't remember that. I do remember talking about P. Diddy or whatever, the Diddy. The Epstein connection. Oh, that's something else. It's just the same picture here. Yeah, well, birds of a feather, you know. All the while, rapper 50 Cent now says that he's been working on a documentary about this called Did He Do It? It is coming soon. Did he do it? Okay, what's trending? Bad Boys 4 is trending because a trailer for the upcoming sequel was released, starring the original actors Martin Lawrence and Will Smith. I guess Hollywood has moved on from Will Smith assaulting Chris Rock. Nothing to see here. Move along. Krispy Kreme is trending because the donut chain announced the deal with McDonald's to sell donuts at the McCafes, and people are pretty stoked about that. Yeah, the only thing I ever liked about McDonald's was they had a good cup of coffee, but everything else was not worth eating. Yeah, that's pretty much that. See, Suki Waterhouse is trending because, oh, that's a person's name? Okay. I thought it was a Chinese restaurant or something. Oh, that would be Saki. Because she reportedly gave birth to her first baby with actor Robert Pattinson. It doesn't sound like they're married, but or maybe they are because actors keep their own names, I guess, and actresses. But I have no idea who Robert Pattinson is. Never heard of either one of these people before, but yes, that's what's trending in the world. And then we have news by the numbers. Okay, here we have it again. Order today, $60. That's how much former President Trump is selling the God Bless the USA Bible. It comes with a copy of the Constitution, Bill of Rights, Declaration of Independence, and Pledge Allegiance of America. Yeah, $60 for a big leather Bible like that. Yeah, that's probably about what you'd pay for a leather Bible these days. So not really shocking or really that extravagance. And he sure's got a nice smile there on his face, doesn't he? Okay, and 43. That's how many branches of Papa John's Pizza will close in the UK because they were underperforming. Underperforming. Yeah, well, with the price of going to a restaurant today, it seems like a lot of things should be underperforming. Yeah, I don't go out to eat just because it's shocking. You go out and get a hamburger and you spend $15. I mean, I remember when, you went out to get a hamburger and it was $2 or $3, or even, yeah, $2 or $3. You could feed the whole family for 5 or 6, and I mean, I'm not over here making minimum wage or anything myself. I have to watch my pennies. Yeah. Okay, and $8 billion. That's the approximate value of True Social since it went public on the NASDAQ this week. And yes, we talked, I mentioned this, Rona McDaniel? Yeah. Pitched a whiny baby fit. Oh, the newbie, everyone else at NBC pitched a baby whiny fit. So they said, sorry, you have to go where everyone else is leaving. Yeah. I mean, when you're not liked, you're not liked. I mean, some people are just not likable. Yeah. So I hate to say that about anyone, but everyone needs Jesus. And, I don't know what it is about this woman, but it's like that vice president that they picked. I mean, nobody likes her on either side anywhere. And then she opens her mouth and speaks to make it even worse. Yeah, that's a sad state of affairs, and maybe why I only have 3 followers, People just don't like me. What can I say? But I will persist. Yes. We should care whether McDaniels should we care whether she's on NBC? Not really. But we should care about the reinforcement of the idea you can't talk to people you don't agree with. Yeah, that's what it gets. They don't want her there because they don't agree with her. If she's too conservative for NBC, yeah. I mean, her. Who's her uncle? Her uncle is what's his name? The guy that really should be a Democrat, but a Republican. I forget his name, but he ran for president a little while ago. He's a Mormon too, so. There's strikes all over the place with that. This hurts us and divides us. Yeah. It also shows its sounding arrogance. NBC personalities say that their major problem with McDaniel is that she has been a major peddler of the big lie, referring to election fraud. Yeah. She's not going with the narrative, man. Yeah. Nobody cheated in the last election. That's normal for the computers to shut down and to turn off everything for an hour and then come back and everything's reversed. That's normal, man. What do you mean? There was what do you mean there was a election denier? Shame on you. Yeah. They lied about Russiagate, Hunter Biden's laptop, COVID jabs and masks. I could go on, but they can't talk to one lady who said things they don't like. More proof that they are odious, malcontented divas. Yes, indeed. So, anyway. Okay. Let's see. We can close this tab if I can figure out which tab it is. These tabs don't. That was the right one. All right, let's see what else we got here. Yes. Another story. Okay, well, thank you, Genetic Modification, for jumping over there with Epicus in the Rumble chat room. So, nobody, I think everybody, once Google kicks me off of YouTube, all I'd have to do is go on there live, 24/7, First Amendment Radio 24/7 on YouTube. They gave me a strike for that. Well, not for being live, but for being for saying things that break their rules. That's right. Otherwise, I could be 24/7 on. But they're kind of like NBC. They don't want First Amendment Radio on there 24/7. No, can't have that. Yeah. There we go. Let's see, Epicus, simply speaking logically, directly, I don't like so-called pull any punches. Okay. No, they're having a good conversation over there in the chat room. And nobody else is saying anything. I'm looking all around, except probably on the chat rooms I'm not watching. And let me see, this chat room here, First Amendment Radio chat room, who's in here? Sometimes because you can choose your own color and background. And it looks like Jesuit Fiends is in the chat room. Guy Fawkes' color is relentless, like the Jesuit Fiends. Yeah. And but he has black type on my black background, so I can't see it unless I highlight it. So, and I don't know why that works that way, but it does. Okay, let's see. Oh, yes, I had this other story from Children's Health Defense. And what was that? Oh, Louisiana state, first state to reject WHO power grab. So I was wanting to look for that story here. Misleading. Okay, let me see what it says. Letter urges support for pandemic treaty as Louisiana becomes first U.S. state to reject WHO power grab. More than 100 former world leaders and public figures urged WHO member states to finalize new pandemic accord. But it's not really a treaty unless it's passed by both houses, and it has to be, I think, 2/3 or 60% in each or the other houses for treaties. Have to be passed by the Senate and the Congress. And signed by the president, I guess, pretty much like legislation, but I think it's a higher standard for treaties. The president can't say what's an agreement. It's not. An agreement is a treaty. If it's a treaty is an agreement with a foreign power, and the UN is definitely the foreign power, and I say that the UN is the image of the beast, because it is an image of what the Roman Empire used to be, because the Roman Empire used to rule the whole world, the whole known world. But now and they exercise that power in 2020. That's why we had lockstep. And I say that the UN is the image of the beast through which the Antichrist vicariously rules the world. And I'll say it again, and it's true, that the Vatican, the Holy See, that's the language. The Holy See is the only power in the Vatican, in the UN, that has observer status. So they're kind of like God. That's where the Holy See comes in. They call it the Holy See because they're godlike. It's a godlike power. It's taking the place of God on earth in the minds and hearts of more than 2 billion adherents. Call him the Most Holy Father, things like that. They have their own sacrifice for sin. It's a magical sacrifice called transubstantiation, and their priests have the power over killing their wafer Jesus, because it's not the true Jesus, but it's the one that they still have on their cross that they sacrifice over and over. They have their bloodless sacrifice, so they fit every criteria that of the biblical and historical Antichrist. Okay, let's see. This story here has more than 100 former world leaders. Critics call the letter misleading because it doesn't address the proposed amendments to the international health regulations. The leaders said it does not threaten nation sovereignty, but the critics say it does. It's misleading. Of course they're misleading. That's what they do. They're liars. They just want power, and they will always mislead. More than 100 former world leaders, public figures, are urging the World Health Organization to finalize the pandemic accord in time for the 77th World Health Assembly. It's very important to take place in Geneva, Switzerland, May through June. In an open letter, a pandemic accord is critical to safeguard our collective future. Only a strong global pact on pandemics can protect future generations from a repeat of a COVID-19 crisis. No, it will give us a repeat. It will not protect future generations from a repeat. No, that's the problem. The problem is we don't want a repeat, because that's where the lockstep came in. There's no such thing as a, of course, now I'm getting into an area where I will get a strike. Okay, well, one more break, and we'll take a look a little bit more at this pandemic treaty when I return. Don't go anywhere.
The program you are listening to is 100% sponsored by you, the listener, on this First Amendment Rights Media channel. You will notice that there are few commercials on this radio network. There's a good reason for that. Corporate advertising dollars come with strings that limit program content. So without your help, these programs cannot continue on satellite, internet, or our several affiliates. If you benefit by the educational law programs, we ask you to give. If you are admonished or nurtured by the Bible and ministry programs, we ask you to give. If some voice a cause that you are passionate about, we ask you to give. If you believe in any of these, we ask you to support them as you would a missionary on a continual basis, as if giving a tithe for missionary radio. These programs are not commercially viable and must be supported by those faithful to the cause of truth. Look for the button to sponsor your favorite programs at our listen and schedule pages on the internet. We will also give you unlimited archive access to all of our programs. We're asking you to give much less than a tithe, so that you may also send support directly to a particular program host, cause, and anywhere else the Spirit may lead you. Do all to the glory of our God and Creator, for His holy nation, the only kingdom that will last forever. Thank you for listening.
Visit crosstheborder.org, CROSS, crosstheborder.org, to get your print, EPUB, or PDF version of Nicholas Arthur's new book titled When the Third Temple is Built. That's crosstheborder.org. When it comes to prophecy today, much of the evangelical Christian world has their eyes on Israel, waiting and watching to see when the third temple will begin to be built. The plans are drawn, the Jewish people are eager, Most evangelical Christians today believe that the rapture will happen before the third temple is built. Hi, I'm Michael Eugene. I was taught that Daniel's 70th week was in the future. Is that really what the Bible teaches? Have we searched the scriptures and found this to be true? Why is it so important for a re-established Israel to build a third temple in Jerusalem? Is it necessary to build a temple on the same location already occupied by the Dome of the Rock? Is it necessary for sacrifices to take place in the temple on Temple Mount? Is there really a rapture followed by 7 years of tribulation? What is the New Testament temple? Can we identify history and prophecy? Who is the first beast in Revelation chapter 13? Who are the 7 kings in Revelation 17? I have asked all these questions, and I have found Nicholas Arthur's new book, When the Third Temple is Built, answers all these questions and more using Scripture to interpret Scripture. The Bible says that no prophecy of Scripture is of any private interpretation. Nicholas shows us in his new book, When the Third Temple is Built, how the Bible interprets prophecy and not man's private interpretation. Visit crosstheborder.org, C-R-O-S-S, crosstheborder.org to get your print, EPUB, or PDF version of Nicholas Arthur's new book titled When the Third Temple is Built. That's crosstheborder.org.
Let's see, here we go. Okay, yeah, so I was looking at this article here from the Children's Health Defense, the Defender. And that is a RFK project. So it's he got his claim to fame, and any admiration I had for the work he was doing was what he was doing there. But his choice for his vice president pick, wrong direction. But anyway, back to this article on the pandemic accord. It says, it is critical to safeguard our collective future. Yes, the Borg collective future. Only a strong global pact on pandemics can protect future generations from a repeat of the COVID-19 crisis. Yeah, well, I don't really believe in a global pandemic myself. I think every country and every state should be left to deal with whatever they have to deal with. Things don't really go worldwide like that, I don't think. I haven't seen any evidence of it, because that's the last thing that happened certainly wasn't evidence of it. And it was, we don't want a repeat of that. So that's one thing I did like about Donald Trump, is he defunded the WHO and got us out of it, or whatever, or at least he was supposed to have. At least I remember something like that. But they were very instrumental in the lockstep thing that happened. Yeah. So critics of the proposed pandemic accord told the Defender that the letter is deceiving because it addresses the proposed accord or pandemic treaty, but doesn't reference the amendments to the international health regulations of 2005. Proposed in 2023 are being negotiated concurrently with the accord. Critics of the letter said it meant to deflect attention from what they argue are the more onerous proposals contained in the amendments. Dr. David Bell, physician biotech, former director of Global Health Technologies, told the Defender the letter is quite shameful and deceitful, no doubt. I mean, we are dealing with the UN here. Satan's government over the earth, really. The letter follows the lead of the Director General in misleading the public, but claiming rightly that the pandemic agreement does not include provisions that hand over authority from countries to the WHO, when these are in the proposed amendments to the IHR that accompanies the pandemic accord. The proposed IRH amendments specifically mention border closures, mandated jabs, and other measures now associated with lockdowns. They specifically mention documentation being needed to cross borders and mention digital passports as one of the alternatives. Dutch attorney Mike Terhorst told the Defender in an open letter it only refers to the pandemic accord to confuse everybody. The real meat is in the IHR amendments, because on the basis of the amendments, the Director of the General of the WHO is anticipated to get independent legislative and executive power while any legal review is made impossible. The secrecy surrounding the draft suggests that we are dealing with a coup d'etat. Are the negotiations in trouble? Some critics suggest the open letter may be a sign that negotiations for the pandemic accord are failing. So why are they voting on it if it's not even settled yet? We're still hammering out the language, or are they just going to slide the language in after, everyone agrees to it? But then, do we, as people or as states, do we have to agree to it? Because we have one state here saying no way, and I will say no way, no matter what. Because if they say mandate everyone has to take a shot, I'm definitely not going to do it. See, there's no member state consensus on either document. Executive Director and founder of Transformative Health Justice, with 8 weeks to go before the World Health Assembly, the WHO is evidently nervous about the accord being derailed. The BMJ reported that little progress has been made on pandemic accord draft, and that the waiving of intellectual property remains a sticking point for member nations at loggerheads in the discussions. Waiving of intellectual property. Yeah, I heard that WHO and the CDC own a lot of patents on a lot of these drugs, and the people are making a lot of money. Yeah. So I don't trust them. I don't trust any of them. Proponents of the accord fear that the final draft could be watered down in negotiations. The weaker language might result in countries only being recommended to take certain... Well, that's all they should have to do anyway. See, they want more. They want power. They don't want to just recommend things. Yes, and that's what it should be. The result in countries only being recommended to take certain actions rather than being compelled by international law. What does that mean? They're going to bring blue helmets in to enforce, because if you're being compelled, that means they're going to use force, and force means the power of the gun. Yeah. So the WHO wants the power of the gun. That's what I read in that paragraph. I don't see any other way to read it. Yeah. Sure, I don't care. They can make all the recommendations they want. And then people can decide whether they want to follow those recommendations or not. You know, I'm taking care of my own health, thank you. I'm not any part of any collective health. I only have individual health, mine and my family's. We are not any part of any Borg collective. We're not on some square, Earth is not a square Borg ship. Sorry. It's not a one thing fits all, because that's practically what they tried to push on the world. Only one solution. Nothing else. We're not even going to allow you to try. We're going to outlaw everything else that might work. We don't care. Others noted growing global opposition to the proposed accord. Yay. Iran, New Zealand, Slovakia, and the Netherlands recently rejected the amendments proposed in 2022. But the problem in America is we have Biden who wants it, but I'm sure that most of the states will reject it. And while in South Africa, a WHO withdrawal bill has been proposed. Yay. Yeah, we went through that in 2020. We don't need to go through that again. I'm glad to see all this controversy coming up around this. Yeah. I don't like tyrants. Don't want to give them more power. In the U.S., Louisiana State Senate voted unanimously. Wow, on March 26th against allowing the WHO, United Nations, and World Economic Forum to wield any influence over the state of Louisiana. Yay. See, I'm moving to Louisiana. Not really, but yay. I hope more states will follow Louisiana's example. Right? I mean, unanimously. Wow, that's great. I love to hear that. The fact that all Democrats voted for it indicates how popular the sentiment is with their constituents, said Dr. Nass, an internist and founder of Door to Freedom. I think it sends a message to politicians everywhere that favoring the WHO will be accompanied by great political cost. Yes, indeed. Independent journalist James Roguski told the Defender that the letter from the world leaders to the WHO is mostly correct, as the proposed pandemic accord is not an attack on national sovereignty. However, he and Dr. Kat Lindley pointed out that the IHR amendments do pose a threat. So it's the amendments that pose the threat, but to the nation's sovereignty. So without those amendments, they are only making recommendations, not good enough for those wannabe tyrants over there in the UN and the WHO. They want these amendments. They do pose a threat to a nation's sovereignty. Lindley said the IHR amendments will make the WHO the global authority on health in the event of new pandemics, which will likely conveniently show up, which they clearly feel will be happening over and over again, and may pave the way for future mandates, jab mandates, and the imposition of digital health passes. Yes, that's what they want. And so there's a whole bunch more to this article. According to Article 18 of the amendments, recommendation respected person may include the following advice: review proof of medical examination and any laboratory analysis, require medical examinations, review proof of vaccination or other prophylaxis, require vaccination or prophylaxis, place suspect persons under health observation, public health observation, implement quarantine or other health measures for suspect persons, implement, yes, and it goes on, and the tyranny is listed. It goes on and on. Even more troubling, Roguski said. I've seen him on David Knight's show. He's been a guest over there. Our proposed amendments to Annex 6, which empower the WHO to be the sole authority empowered to determine which vaccines or other prophylaxis would be deemed to be acceptable for international travel. The language of the amendments clearly changes the relationship the WHO has with member states. Article 1 changes non-binding recommendations to binding obligations. So anyway, you get the idea, and that's all there at the Health Defender. But I like to see that Louisiana unanimously, Democrats and Republicans said, no way. Yes, the states need to retain all their sovereignty. They need to take as much back, because all of those things that the federal government is doing that are not given to it by the Constitution to do are all unlawful. Yeah, they should all be taken back by the state governments. We need to become more independent and limit the federal government to only the things that are written in the Constitution. Yes. Now, tell me that's going to happen, Donald Trump or RFK. Tell me that's what you're all about. And Maybe I'll go down and register to vote. Yeah. But I am not insane. Thank you. So anyway, there's that. There is that. I guess I can close that tab and see what else is going on here. Let me check out the chat room, see if anybody, see, Constitution is key. Epicus says in the chat room. And nobody else is talking. Okay. Well, at least I had a lot of calls and a lot of people. Well, I talk about prophecy on Wednesday morning exclusively. So that's my exclusive prophecy reality broadcast, which I usually replay on Wednesday because by the end of the day, I have put in a good amount of work. As it takes a lot of work to run First Amendment Radio as it is. And with my daughter's help, we do it. It's 24/7 stream. We got new broadcasts every day. The news is new every hour, as new as the news service that I have for that American Family News Service. And we try to keep it up to date and try to keep good programming in here. And let me see, Epicus was going to send me a suggestion on a teacher, so please do send me that because I'm always looking for good Reformed Protestant teaching to fill in some time here and keep it fresh and new. And I don't know. I hope everybody's been enjoying. What's his name? Right. I can't even remember the guy's name that we have on at noon now. Reformed teacher. How old is my daughter? Yeah, I already said my youngest is 23. Yeah. And she's not here right now. She has her own life. She's a regular 23-year-old. She has her friends and she hangs out and whatever and all of that. And my middle granddaughter is living on the ranch now too. She's, I think, 21 or 22. She's pretty, they kind of grew up together, my youngest daughter and my middle granddaughter. So they're very close, more like cousins than, because my daughter would be her aunt, but they're more like cousins in their relationship. Very close, spent a lot of time together growing up and riding horses like mad people when they were young. I mean, those girls, they rode those horses like mad, raced all over the place. It was fun to watch, I'll tell you. I didn't say teacher, I said check him out. He's a pastor, and he teaches on the Bible, right? I don't know here to start if you have a match that is the place. Okay, now I'm losing my... Okay, I can't understand what we're talking about there, so I guess I'll have to leave that off. So we are the Jesuits, says your existence as you know it is over. We will add your biological and technological distinctiveness to our own. Resistance is futile. Yes, indeed. Yeah, that's why I call them the Borg. And the Jesuit Borg. And you can see their handiwork, in China today, communist Russia, and Pol Pot's regime over there, and wherever there's genocide and they kill all happiness and freedom of thought and free speech. Yeah, that's their best works. They are mocking us, says genetic modification. We are the Jesuits. Your existence as you know it is over. We will add your biological and technological distinctiveness to our own. Resistance is futile, something like that. I haven't worked on my Borg voice, but I guess I could practice it for a while. I'll let you know. Okay, next. What else do we have here? I've got a few minutes left. Okay, so anyway, I have a few minutes left. Make sure that you've gone to my blog there and take advantage of the articles there. Buy some of my books, or you can sign up to get a free copy of, this one here, which is called the Abraham Accord. And it's a PDF copy. I don't have a printing press and a lot of money, so I can't really afford to mail out copies of books. And I don't have enough support to be able to do that. Otherwise, I likely would, but then I would need more support staff to do all that stuff. So, but there it is, PDF for free. You can read it. And really what the book is it's an introduction to historicism for, rapture believers, people who believe in dispensational futurism. So, shows you some of the glaring discrepancies in the futurist dispensational biblical discrepancies, how it can't be so, that at best it's a poor speculation that's hardly supported by the scripture, because you have to conjecture all the supports for it from the scripture, because the major tenets of the thesis of dispensational futurism with its pre-tribulational rapture, the major tenets none of them are explicitly expressed anywhere in the scripture. So that's a huge problem for me. So I show that to you in there, and then I outline propose what's going to happen when they start building the temple, because that's supposed to kick off their 7-year tribulation and nobody's rapture. So I run down something that how it might turn out, and how the Antichrist will take advantage of that, because it's really his thesis, his propaganda that birthed this whole thing that we're dealing with today. So I put it, let the show begin, the stage is set, and then after the play, now that the 7-year tribulation is played out, nobody's been raptured, and here we are setting for 3 or 4 or 10 years after that. Okay, so what do we do? What does prophecy really say? So I have identifying history and prophecy, really an introduction to historicism. I go over the 6 vials because that's pretty recent as far as history. It's within the last 500 years. The 6 vials have been poured out, and show you where they poured out in history and how that we have interpreted them, and then filling in the blanks. I talk about the 3 frogs. There's part of the 6 vials. The 6 vials specifically, that the 3 frogs are poured out to prepare for their spirits going throughout the earth in preparation for the great day of God Almighty. So we see these 3 frog-like spirits going throughout the earth, and discuss that and what that means. And then chapter 7, there's contemporary times to Revelation. Try to bring a little up to date. But it's just a primer. It's just a 199-page book. So, but just really an introduction to historicism is all it is, and it outlines how the Vatican is behind the whole Abraham Accord thing and the peace in the Mideast. So no, the Antichrist is not going to go into the temple and claim that I am God. Sorry, the Pope's not going to do that. Doesn't really want to. He just wants to, he's given this false narrative to discredit the Bible and Bible prophecy for Protestants. First, he gives them false prophecy to believe in. Now they believe it. Now the coup d'etat to bring about a building on the Temple Mount, because that's when the clock begins, and then there's no raptures anywhere, pre, mid, or post. So in the end, he's going to say, see, we were right all along. See, the Antichrist, they think this Antichrist is some stupid guy who's going to show up and go in the temple, but they don't realize the cunning, the foe that they're dealing with, because he is so cunning that he has got them to not believe in him, but to believe that the Antichrist is a guy that's going to show up for the last 7 years, and plus that he's convinced them that they can't know who it will be. And they say that, oh, we can't know who it'll be all the time. I mean, talk about diabolical. Yeah. Okay, well, that was my tone, so I'm out of time. Make sure you get over to my blog. Make sure you check out the free ebook tab there and follow the instructions, and I can send you that. And, of course, you have to follow my blog to do that. That's one of the things. And share the post there and spread this program around, too. Help me out a little bit. Get some more people in here, and so I can get some real callers. And we can have a real hangout. More suggestions for guests, things like that. May the Almighty bless you and keep you as you travel on the narrow way that leads to life. I'll see you next time. Secrets of the Rapture. Is there a 500-year-old conspiracy? A propaganda machine so pervasive and entrenched, yet so elusive that the entire world could be taken in by it, working in plain sight, but unseen by the world for what it truly is? If prophecy is God-given history in advance, why does the prophecy that has conquered the age also exclude nearly 2,000 years of history? What is it that they are afraid that the light of history will reveal? To understand our place in time and prophecy, we must look in history for an interpretation, that which stands the test of time, that which agrees with the Word of God, and history has proven to be true. When cunning fables and fearful speculations are removed from our sight, then we may clearly see what is truly expressed in Bible prophecy, both that which has been fulfilled and that which has yet to come. God's express word is the sword that must be wielded to remove the scales from the eyes and dispel the darkness of deceitful conjecture. Secrets of the Rapture was written to expose that which the spirit of the age has conjured out of the darkness to blind the eyes of the church in the world today. Secrets of the Rapture, deconstructing pre-tribulation.
American Family News, I'm Rusty P.
King Sam Bankman-Fried is sentenced to 25 years for FTX fraud, according to Fox Business. The judge said he found that FTX customers lost $8 billion, FTX's equity investors lost $1.7 billion, and that lenders to the Alameda Research hedge fund Bankman-Fried founded lost $1.3 billion. Tributes are pouring in for former Connecticut Senator Joe Lieberman, who died yesterday at the age of 82 after complications from a fall. Here's Fox's Lucas Tomlinson.
Former Vice President Al Gore posting on X, he was a truly gifted leader whose affable personality and strong will made him a force to be reckoned with. Now, Lieberman was co-chairman of the centrist group No Labels, who posted, quote, he was a deeply principled and pragmatic leader who believed public service was a privilege and who dedicated his life to the betterment of others. When Al Gore chose him to be his running mate, Lieberman became the first Jewish candidate on a major party presidential ticket. While seeking a fourth term in the Senate, Lieberman lost the 2006 primary due to his support for the Iraq War, but won the general election while running as an independent.
A national defense analyst and Army strategist says that Russian President Vladimir Putin is trying to advance a narrative that Washington was an accomplice in the deadly Moscow terrorist attack earlier this month. Here's AFN's Chad Groening.
The Moscow